Wow, there sure are a lot of cool Pokemon fan regions on YouTube. So how about one based on the Benelux? Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg. These three countries are together a union called the Benelux. But geographically they are known as the Low Countries of Europe, which technically includes some parts of France and Germany, so I'll just be saying Benelux instead. Now, multiple countries being in one Pokemon region isn't really unheard of. Galar and Paldea have both done this, so honestly it might just be a continuing trend. I personally reside in the Netherlands, and it would be an interesting region on its own, but including two more places is just more fun. Because of my bias, however, this region likely will include more Dutch culture than the others, but I will try my best to represent all cultures nonetheless. So let's get started. If you were in the Netherlands in 2006, you would seriously not go one day without seeing these fuzzy little balls called whoopies, or weeples in English. Now, you may have seen these before. These were used for promotional purposes. Just little cute pom-poms with googly eyes. They were a really easy way to advertise, and a lot of people could also make their own. They were pretty popular for a very short time. They were pretty much just made because people were bored, and honestly, they're very cute, they're very easy to make. You could probably make one after watching this video. They're not exclusively Dutch, but their comeback definitely was. Albert Heijn, the largest supermarket chain over here, was airing a commercial hyping up the 2006 World Cup with these 4 colored fuzzballs. Just an absolute silly commercial, by the way. And if you spend 15 euros in any of their stores, you get one of these goobers for free. And if you kept collecting all of them, you could obtain a mega whoop. This huge orange fluff ball was wanted all over the country. Sometimes people would put them in their cars, and they were stolen. Like, literally, their windows were smashed just to obtain one of these. The hype was unreal. I had lots of these as a kid. I talked about them all the time. I even sang our theme song from the commercial perfectly, line by line. I was the whoopee kid. Naturally, this simple creature, however, isn't enough of an inspiration for a Pokemon. So, due to their association with the World Cup, and soccer being very popular here, it kicks around small footballs like it's playing soccer. Its body is also made out of a cheesy material, which was inspired by Dutch Gouda cheese. And I made sure to put all the main features of the whoopies in the design, making the antenna into earmuffs because it's in the cold, giving it a fluffy coat of snow, along with a sort of football t-shirt underneath. Meet the adorable Wubble, which is Whoopee and Ball combined, and it is the playing Pokemon. These Pokemon are found in the colder parts of the region. They spend their days kicking up balls of snow and playing together. They tend to live close to towns and love showing off their skills in front of people, hoping to play with them together. If a human child plays with a Wubble growing up, they are said to become a legendary soccer player later in life. Their footprints can be confused for children's. This little cute fluffy fluffball will be happy to join your team. Just be a little easy on it first. It's a little bit nervous. Another creature related to these whoopies are Bases. These worm-like creatures were also released to the public around the World Cup, also from Albert Heijn, but in 2010. Accompanied by yet another hilarious commercial. I don't know how they did it, but Albert Heijn just back in the day made the most funny and memorable commercials. There are also the Welpies in 2008, but they're not wacky creatures, they're just lions, so if you spend 10 euros for groceries, you would get one of these small ones. But you could also purchase a big one for 2 euros, which honestly is a little bit weird because I just went to the store to get the big ones, so I don't know why they changed their marketing. These big bases could then be used as a scarf or even a hand puppet, and that simple idea was enough for me to make a design. A scarf like Silkworm like Creature. Just a fun little guy was my idea, but I wanted to make the design less on the nose. So the big googly eyes were made into antennae, to fool others. There hasn't been a bug and normal type Pokemon yet, which I honestly find very strange. And, a scarf is a pretty normal and common item in cold places. And the Silk Scarf is an item that boosts normal type moves, so a Silk Scarf Silkworm. Because it is in the cold, it's got a cute little coat in the form of a red pattern, with buttons sticking out that are actually its feet. Honestly, despite this being a pretty simple design, it took me a lot of time to properly design it. But yeah, not much to say outside of that, just a funny, simple little dude. There's something around your neck. If you combine the word Basie and Sjaal, which means scarf in Dutch, you get Beesjaal, the silkworm Pokemon. This Pokemon can easily keep itself warm in the freezing temperatures due to the fuzzy silk-like coat it has. To people around the cities and towns where it commonly resides, this fuzzy silk can be found and used to create clothing and the known Silk Scarf, which can be used in battle. Its signature ability called Neutralizing Coat, turning it into a pure normal type. so a perma-terrestrializing if you will. It still gets the stab bonuses from bug and normal, but it gets double stab on normal. Bayshell is a very precious Pokemon, I love him a lot, so if you're lucky enough to find one of these in the wild and befriend it, you'll have a cute fuzzy friend, and also, hey, a scarf as a bonus. Wubble was made for an evolution, and I had one in my mind for a long time, well before even designing the base form. Snowman Pokemon are not common. In fact, the only one we have is Galarian Duranitan, though I might be wrong on that, but I've always wanted to see more. But just a snowman design feels too simple to me, so I wanted to do more. I thought of the idea of a snowman kicking its lower half in battle, like a football, but honestly, that didn't really work. So I went to the route of an entertainer more. After all, the 2006 Whoopee hype was mainly a social thing. People got together and they partied. It's still a great soccer player, but its main thing now is entertainment and bedazzlement, like a jester playing with multiple snowballs. It's like the main attraction of a carnival, and carnivals are celebrated by the Dutch every year. Around this time actually, in the winter, so it all adds up. As you can see, Wubble is the only Pokemon getting an evolution, however, because this evolution only occurs when a Wubble and a Bayshell trust each other fully. I knew I wanted to add a scarf to a snowman because then it's more, easily identifiable as a snowman, but adding a random scarf to a Wubble just doesn't feel organic. It has to have a reason to be there. And the symbiotic relationship resulting in one Pokemon design is super fun, and honestly, I'm surprised that Game Freak doesn't do this more often. We only have Mantine, and honestly, it's such a cool idea. I also thought of giving this Pokemon arms, like twig-like arms, like with Snowman, but it already uses the scarf as a hand. Yeah, plus the snowball shape just needed to stay. I wanted it to be just a ball. If you love parties, you'll love Double, which combines the words double and ball, and it is the carnival Pokemon. When a Wubble and a Bayshell have been friends for a while, an odd phenomena occurs. Their friendship combines into a symbiotic evolution, creating Double. This Pokemon is the embodiment of a warm party. It loves to show off the Pokemon and people, and can easily keep up multiple snowballs on its head, and can kick off a huge snowball against its opponents in battle. Its signature ability is similar to the Rider forms of Calyrex, and this ability is called Team Up, combining Wubble and Bayshell's abilities together. If you so happen to find a wild Double, if you catch it, you'll get 2 for the price of 1, which is a pretty sweet deal if you ask me. Prankster-like Pokemon are always fun, so I wanted to make one, but with a Dutch spin. Children playing pranks and messing with things they really shouldn't is a pretty universal experience throughout the world, but in Dutch, there's a specific word for it: kattenkwaad. Katte means cats, and kwaad means evil, so cat's evil, little kitties just pulling tricks. Because of the festive theme I had going on with the other Pokemon thus far, I wanted to try out a fireworks-based Pokemon as well. Children playing with fireworks, setting off firecrackers, and being general menaces about it was my main idea. This took a lot of sketches, by the way, but eventually I knew I wanted to incorporate a small kitty in there as well. To really hone in on the kattenkwaad pun. Also, when a kid does something bad and they just lie about it to get away with it? Well, that's what this Pokemon is doing. It's tricking you, but hiding something inside, which is, as you can see, the gas leaking out. That is actually the Pokemon itself. Toxoplasmosis is also a thing I played with, which are bacteria that cats, poop when they eat prey with toxoplasmosis. Mice with this bacteria, which cats eat, become fearless, making them lower their guard. So inhaling the gas of this Pokemon also makes you do the same, not taking it as seriously as you maybe should. Finally, a Jack-in-the-Box concept is also something I put in this design because it's just fun. Hold your breath, this is Sparkint, using the words spark and kind, meaning child in Dutch, and it is the prankster Pokemon. This Pokemon loves to trick and prank others. Scientists believe its main body is the gas leaking out, and if you inhale this gas, your guard will lower and make the Pokemon seem very trusting. Sparkint are found in the outskirts of the city, creating small fires and hanging out with other Sparkint. You will rarely meet one alone. If you love to play pranks and fool others, then this kitty is definitely the pick for you. Now, when you don't take children playing pranks seriously and let them get away with it all the time, they grow up, and their pranks become worse and worse. A rotten child growing up into a rotten adult and never learning their lesson was key to making this design. I also took some inspiration from the firework brand Cobra, fireworks that are illegal in the Netherlands, because I thought it'd be cool to do something with a snake. Another Dutch word that inspired me was hangjongeren. This translates to loiterers, but in the Dutch context, this is often portrayed as negative young adults, who are loud, they cause violence, and are generally just annoying and troublesome. New Kids is a Dutch show featuring these types of people, and something that aired when I was a kid, and everyone wanted to be like them in high school, which was, annoying. This is one of those shows that features bad people being bad. They're not really glorified in the show, and if you idealize them unironically, you're kind of missing the point of the show. It's just honestly a dumb and fun franchise. And so I wanted to do a slight homage to this character, Richard Botsbach. This guy has a signature mullet and a mustache I just wanted to recreate. I also got inspired by Mousehold, one of my favorite Gen 9 designs. Using multiple creatures as one Pokemon is always super fun and creative of Game Freak, so I wanted to do something similar. Since the gas is the actual Pokemon, it doesn't seem too weird, however, because it's growing in malice and size, so it needs more fake bodies to inhabit, which also look the same as before, just without the tails, because I wanted to simplify the overall design. I don't want too much going on. It loves to trick people into believing it's just not a big deal, just 4 little guys playing harmless pranks. Theming behind this design was also pretty important to me, because it shows how a group of people can become more dangerous than just one. Okay, so think of annoying children, right? When they're on their own, they're scared and nervous. They don't dare try anything. But when they're with their friends, yeah, they can feel like they can do whatever. Be careful, this is Sparkvat, combining Spark and Kvat, meaning evil in Dutch, and it is the vandalizing Pokemon. When 4 Sparkins team up together, they create Sparkvat. Capable of much more than just simple pranks, this Pokemon spends its day causing havoc amongst the city. Its poisonous gas can infect 10 people at a time. When hunting, it lowers the guards of its prey before striking, and fries them into easy snacks to eat with its fiery breath that can reach 3,000 degrees Celsius. Honestly, Sparkvat are pretty dangerous Pokemon, but despite all of that, they can be turned into a trustworthy friend. Of course, if you sometimes don't mind pranking your friends a little bit more, just please take it easy, okay, for their safety. Alright, so, gonna be honest, these designs took a lot longer than I thought. Wubble and Bayshall, yeah, they didn't take too long, but the other 3, holy crap, I spent maybe 15 sketches for these 3 combined, and it took a lot of powering through to get where they are now. But then I also later had to redesign all of them, because I just felt like they were missing some inherent Pokemon-ness. Like they didn't look exactly like Pokemon. You can also see that if you watch the time-lapse. I do think they look more like Pokemon now, but I'm not sure if they follow all the proper rules even now. I like them though. I think they're all very nice, and I especially love how I drew the flames on Sparkvat. Like, it just looks so cool. They're fun buddies, and honestly, I'm just really happy that I finally got this video out and finally started my region. Also, I hope y'all learned some fun Dutch facts. It's kind of cool to represent my country like this. It is a fun country. It's not perfect, but I still like it here. I'm not sure which my favorite is, probably Sparkvat or Wubble. Which ones are your favorite? Did I do the Pokemon vibes properly? And what can I still learn going forward? Or, just comment on the video for algorithm boosting. I worked hard on this video, and I need it to go well. If I redesign these Pokemon in the future, I'll briefly mention them in future videos, and considering I'm still an art noob who hasn't mastered any fundamentals yet, and I really should work more on those, they likely will be redesigned in the future, just not anytime soon. And yeah, that's the video. Go check out my other stuff. I recently did a collab where I designed future Paradox Pokemon, which was a lot of fun, so go check that out. Bye!